Hey, welcome back to the channel. So as you can see, I have an incredible rig on the bench. This is the JD model brought to you by Team Raffee 1/10 King of Hammer Ultra 4 Racing IFS titanium tube frame rock crawler. That's a mouthful. That is a mouthful. So we'll just call it the KOH. So a lot of the things in this truck are, the price is reflective. This is a very expensive model. So the weld detail, it's titanium caged. It is heavy, but it's not ungodly heavy. The attention to detail in this is amazing. Down to the welds on the arms. It is breathtaking. The truck, full light system, front and rear. It has integrated light bars up top for the brake system, just like the real one that this is modeled after. The exhaust system, the scale V8, it's just all there. So probably asking yourself, well, what the heck are you going to do with it? I got to finish it. So they're not finished right out of the box. There's some work that has to be done. There's a dash that gets a race gauge here. All these get filled in with knobs and buttons. This is the block off plate for all the wiring, and the receiver sits underneath of it. This all gets parts that get detailed. There's a lot left to do. Here's some of the detail parts. It's the power on and off, the gauge cluster, which they give all of this to you. The fuel rings for the fuel cell in the back, the shifter with the metal gate, if you can see that. There's actually a metal gate in there that goes on with the shifter. Just tons of detail pieces. Here's the GPS and the rugged radio. Just more of it. There's probably the high-low shifters. There's just lots and lots and lots of little pieces to put in. So I get to do all that fiddlies. Plus I get to entertain myself with the truck. I did find that a set of Sideways RC belts, green, that'll go in here, because this does get the full livery of Monster, Warren, and all the decals for this truck. So it's Gannon Larpendale. You can see where that's headed. Yeah, it's not licensed, but it is cool nonetheless. A lot of the parts, they do give you spares in printed material for these pieces that are actually printed in aluminum. So the top and the rear fuel cell, these are actually printed aluminum along with the exhaust. So they do give you spares. And the exhaust, very noteworthy here. So these come up over the top. They give you the exhaust, the collector for the exhaust, tubes lined up here, the crossover pipe, and the outlet pipe. So they give you a lot of really, really wild stuff here to make it your own and to do more with it. But a little bit of the functionality here. So this is where the battery goes, kind of twists up, and then this piece comes off. It does have an XT60. The motor in this rig is a Hobby Wing. I believe this is a 1200 kV. Yeah, 1200 kV all-in-one system. So it does simplify. The whole bottom of this is metal. It does have a serial number hand scribed into it. Lower arms are aluminum heims. The axles with lockers, front and rear lockers. This does ask for a 6-channel radio, so you can run all the lighting functions. Finding a 6-channel radio in today's world is not the easiest thing to do, but it can be done. As you can see, it does have a full, I mean, those wires are super tiny for the light bars. It's a very scale, very cool. Yeah, all that drops in there. So yeah, I'm going to be pulling all the panels off, getting everything cleaned up, getting it ready for detail and decal, and then and running it, of course, here on the bench. I'm not going to actually drive it outside. It's not mine. I'll give you a hint as to whose it is, because we're also going to put a Reefs 1100 Smart servo in it, and get it running and get it sent back. So I'll fill you in as I move through the details. Alright, as you can see, we're getting disassembled. So this is definitely printed aluminum, which is pretty cool. Problem is, it fingerprints terribly, so we're gonna have to figure that out. But I had to take all that out to get this last green piece of plastic out so I can paint it. Some of the panels are aluminum, some of the panels are Lexan, but all the panels have a oil film all over them, because I'd imagine during shipping the shocks blew out, and just pressure changes. There's a lot of shock oil down on the low side of this chassis and the suspension parts, which is, you know, to be expected. It got shipped, air freight, pressure changes, whatnot, you know, all that'll have to be addressed. So it is getting shipped back. So I think what I'm going to do is just purge all the oils out of it, and, you know, kind of explain how to refill the shocks and what oil I would recommend. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. I did take the servo out of the front. It has a kind of like a steering rack down in there. There's no lube on it, so I'm going to put some dry grease, just so dirt doesn't accumulate, just a real thin coat, to be able to get that solved. But yeah, it's not too bad to take apart. The whole rear panel, that's this piece. It's got a bunch of bolts in it to hold it on, but you can see, you know, there's really decent quality of craftsmanship in this. I mean, just putting little tabs on in titanium, I'd imagine, would be extremely difficult, but the welds look nice. So yeah, here's the back side of the battery box. The servos that are all buried down inside of here. This is the, if you're familiar with the other JD models, the Miller racing truck, this is definitely that driveline, that motor, transmission. It's the same. So expectations, I had one on the bench previously, and I really didn't have any issues with its durability with brushless. But yeah, it's the same transmission. The turnbuckles are loose. They are adjustable, but they aren't, the nuts aren't up against the tube, so it's not right hand, left hand. They're both right hand, so definitely have to go in and Loctite those nuts to keep these from spinning, because they could, you know, they'll go all the way one way. The wheels, getting them off of the studs, if you're familiar with the JD models concept, they use studs and nuts to hold the wheels on. I did have to kind of chuck this driver up in my drill and take a little bit off of there to make it a thin wall to be able to get those nuts off. I don't know if the owner of this truck's going to keep those wheels or if they're going to swap them out for something else, but there are, you know, I mean, it's disc brakes and, you know, cool. I mean, it's cool. So, all right, I want to keep on keeping on and see how much further I got to dig into this and clean it up. Just get that oil coating off, like I said, and I'll probably just use some moo towels or something just to get that oil off. The panels for the interior are in the paint booth, and I think I got to get this panel out. I don't know how I'm going to do that quite yet, because those fan shrouds are kind of driving me nuts being in gray, and I don't think they should be gray, but we'll keep on digging and we'll see what we're doing. All right, so we got everything hooked up. We have steering, so we have the 1100 Smart in there doing smart stuff, no issues, and pulls everything right around. Got our drive hooked up, got our high-low hooked up, we have our front dig, and we have our lockers. So everything's functional. The light bars do work. I just don't have them up because I'm running on a 5-channel radio and this takes 6. So once 6th channel comes in, then I'll be able to do the lights and all that stuff too. But basically the lights are just a toggle on the radio. You'll go to headlights, you'll go to ambers, you'll go to spots, and then you'll go to rears. That's all they do. We got the dash painted up. So got the interior piece painted up and the bottom of the fuel cell painted, so it's no longer green, so it's actually aluminum colored. And yeah, that's where we're at right now. Just trying to get everything working and then start doing the detail from the inside out. One thing that I did notice is that the all-in-one unit in this one is not exactly a fusion system. It's still a hobby wing, but the program card, this program card doesn't go past item 4. And I need to get to item 5 to reverse motor direction and set BEC and all that stuff. But I tried the other program card, still does the same thing. It only goes to 4 and then it goes back to 1. So I'm not real sure what program box goes with this setup. And this particular ESC motor combo is not shown in the Hobby Wing catalog. So maybe one of you guys out there can tell me exactly what program card goes with that motor. It is Hobby Wing branded brushless ESC crawler 1200 kV, which feels a little low for this. I know the hassle of taking this motor out to put a bigger motor in it, but I don't think it's going to get driven all that much, so we'll just leave the 1200 in it. If the owner wants to change it, we can cross that bridge when we get to it. But yep, there we are, and I'm going to end this episode here because I'm getting a little long, and next time you see it, we'll be doing reassembly with all the nice little detail parts. So till then, see you soon.